Hi everybody, welcome to today's video, and I am working with the January collection from Traci Reed Designs. This is the second collection that she has launched in January, and so what I wanted to do was first of all show you how I am storing my my kits this year from Traci, and then I'm going to be putting together a pocket page spread. So 12 by 12, what I think of as a Project Life pocket, the traditional pocket page. So 4 6x4 pockets and 4 3x4 pockets. And this will be not actually a Project Life because I don't class any of my memory keeping as Project Life, but I do enjoy working in pockets, and so this is going to be capturing a typical day from our van life holiday in September last year. So I have I've already been through the kit and pulled out the products that I know I want to use, so I've got those here. But what I'm going to do is I'd like to share my storage of the kit this year with you. So I'm going to put this video into chapters, so if you're not interested at all in looking at how I am storing my kit, which is in this really amazing tub, then make sure you just have a look on the timeline below and flip straight through to the process part of the video. But I wanted to show this because I'm so happy with it, and I bought this. I'm in the UK, as you can tell from my voice, I'm sure. This was from the range for any of you who are in the UK, or if there is, if the shop The Range exists over in the US, I'm not sure. This was actually advertised in the store as storage for Legos, so that's interesting. It was not over with the crafting stuff, but it's perfect. It comes with it came with these 4 tiers, and what I've chosen to do with them is how it arrived is 2 of the tiers I'm getting all the tiers wrong, so 2 that are just empty like this, and 2 that come with a divided tray. So I have gone through the collection from Traci, and I am choosing, and what's great is it only comes with 1 lid, so you have to go with the kind of 4 as the there we go. So I have chosen to split it. So the bottom 2, I've got my core kit die cut. So that's the kit that she released at the beginning of January. I've got the die cuts from there, and then the papers. This tub is full, absolutely stuffed with the papers and the pattern cards and the journal cards and the filler cards, and it's all fit in there nicely. And then I've labelled up these. So I've got my monthly die cuts there. So this is the January kit. And then monthly papers and cards. They fit in there nicely. And then this way I know that all of my Traci Reed projects are going to be in here with a lovely little carry handle. And once January has gone, what I will do is, if I've got any products left, I will decide, depending on how much I've got left, I will either swap it into a kind of pocket and keep that somewhere stored, or I will I will just add the products in, if that makes sense. So I'll add the February collection, the February kit, into the January kit, so it's all kind of mixed and matched. Now I know that Traci's plan through this year is that everything is going to coordinate beautifully together anyway with that core kit. I'm sure they'll coordinate with each other, and so for example, if I've got some florals left from January, I'm sure these will work with the February kit. I don't know because I haven't seen the February kit, but I'm super excited to get started with the January kit. So I really recommend something like this. This was perfect size for travelers notebook size paper. They're too small for 6 by 8 papers. The insert is 6 1/4 inches, so it's they're just over 9 inches long, but only 6 1/4. But absolutely perfect for travelers notebook size prints. So let me get this moved out of the way. I don't know why I struggle so much with these little clips. It's me, it's not the tub. I'm just struggling to get them lifted. I think I've got my nails are a bit short. There we go. So that just sits on one of my units in my craft room, and as I said, I'm working with a pocket page today, and I've already pulled out some of the products that I know I want to use. I've pulled in this, so these are all from the January routines collection. As I said, they can definitely mix and match with the core kit, the foundations, but I don't want to do that today. For this first one, I want to work with just this new kit. So I've pulled in a 6x4 card here. I've got 2 6x4 photos and 2 3x4 photos from this particular day. And I've already kind of worked out how I want things to sit. So this is, you'll recognise the style of page protector as I'm laying things down on my mat here. I just want to check that you can see. So when I'm working in a page protector like this is how I start. So I went in first of all, knowing that I had 2 6x4s and 2 3x4s. So I went straight in wanting a title card, which I've pulled in this really cute small snapshot of what daily life exists of right now, or consists of right now. So I knew I wanted that there, and then offsetting that, I knew I wanted the bulk of my journaling down here. So I've pulled in this notes from a typical day in the life. And with this cute note paper background, I could just write on there, but I think what I'm going to do is run this either through my typewriter or add some journaling on sticker paper and stick it onto the top. I've also got this daily stories die cut, so it's the cute notebook motif with the floral, and I'm thinking that I will probably pop that on some pop dots down here, but I'm not going to do that straight away because depending on how much story I've got to tell, it'll be in the way. I want to embellish both of these photos. So again, working on that diagonal, I want to work with the same elements but different sentiments. So I've brought in these 2 tabs from the collection. I'm going to put those on here, potentially run this through the sewing machine, I think. Then a sentiment strip, a word phrase strip, and then a word phrase strip, but in this beautiful all the colours of the collection. So one there, and then the same down here, a plain word phrase strip, and then a colourful one. The 2 photos, the 3x4s, I've pulled in a word phrase strip, and then one of these small journal blocks that I'm going to just adhere that onto the top of and then put it here. So I have a pink one for me, and then a purple one for Craig that I'm actually going to spin that round. Deliberately went with the purple so that the star can be flipped, and that will just be there. I have another journal card here which I think I'm going to use. So this one I'm going to speak about these 2 photos. This one I'm going to speak about this whole day. And then what I have here is a pattern card, so just some this would be a perfect spot for another photo, for example, but I don't have one printed from this day. And I really wanted to get this book paper in because of my husband reading the book here. He's not generally been a reader up until this point in his life, but he has just discovered a love of reading, many years behind my love of reading, but he's just discovered it and it's wonderful. So this was definitely a part of life while we were away on our holiday in our van, and so this paper is perfect for that. And I have these die cuts, so the capturing this, the daily flow arrow, and then current routines. And because they get a little lost on that pattern, I'm going to just trim this down and kind of map them on it so they pop. And I will probably put those on pop dots as well, I think. So that is my plan for this. One thing I would say is I printed my photos differently. I normally use a selfie printer for these sizes of photos that print with a white border. I printed these on A4 photo paper from my computer and it hasn't got the border on, and I'm not that keen on the look without the border. So I have just cut up some scrap card. And I think I'm going to trim these down because I like that look of the white border and how it makes the photo pop, particularly because there's some nice white here. Not sure whether I'll actually mat these 2 on the white yet. I'm going to do these first and then see if that's enough of the white in there for me, or if I want some more. So that is going to be my next step. It's going to be get these just trimmed down, mat them on that white cardstock, and then start adhering down my embellishments. Okay, I have opted to mat all of the photos on the white cardstock, so I'm much happier with how they look now. They kind of pop. It's just personal preference that I like that kind of look in pocket pages now, and didn't used to, but then I've just, my eyes got used to it, I guess, with the printing the photos from my selfie machine with the border. So what I'm doing here is I'm just layering these up, and then I'm going to pop these on the photos. I think probably one at the top, one at the bottom is likely how they're going to work. This one is definitely going to go on the top, in that kind of white space area up here, centered in the middle, and then the one for the page down at the bottom here. Lovely. This I'm going to keep plain. I'm going to have a quick look through my puffy stickers to see if I have a sticker that in a colour that matches the collection and that will fit inside that white heart. If I haven't, then I'm going to go leave this just plain. Next, I'm going to have a quick look at these. Now I know I want this here with the sentiment strip across the middle and then this underneath, and I'm wondering, is it worth me taking this over to the sewing machine? I like the idea of the thread, but is it going to work? You know, am I going to see enough of the thread to make it worthwhile, kind of thing? I think I am. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to tack these really lightly down with a tiny bit of adhesive, and then do it so it's just slightly up at the top. It'll still kind of stick out opposite page protector, but that's okay. Trying to leave it enough, the same amount of space there, look, on the photo, so that the two are matchy. I'll take those over to the sewing machine in a second, but what I will do next is get this layered up down here. So I've got the current routines capturing this daily flow, and I want to have the capturing this flat in the center of this little pattern, and then the other two are going to pop up on pop dots. Underneath. I don't know why I'm really struggling to pick things up. There we go. Now this collection I printed on a mix of mediums, so a mix of different papers, because I ran out of my normal paper. So you'll notice that the back of this is a slightly cream texture, and that is because these I print and cut a couple of the die cut sheets on matte photo paper, so I'm hoping that they will hold the colour, because this particular matte photo paper I have struggled with it in the past, so there's a chance it won't. I'm going to stick the big one on first. It's going to go kind of like that. Then this one here, I could put either in the middle. I'm going to cluster at the top with that plan to put a white puffy heart underneath. Didn't stick. Useful. These are old pop dots as well. Yeah, not useful. There we go. Cute. So what I'm thinking, if I'd thought about it, I might stitch this as well. Since I'm bringing in the stitching there and there, I might put one line of stitching rather than all the way around it. I could put one line of stitching with the puffy heart on the top. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to head. So let me think. It'll be stitching, stitching, stitching. Definitely don't want to stitch those. There's not enough space. I want to put the date on here, so no stitching on there. So the other option is, do I want to put this on here and stitch? No. So just take these over to the sewing machine, stitch, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is what this will look like. I've done a double strip of stitching. I've left the threads loose so I can decide whether I want to kind of curl them up and adhere them here, or if not I can just tape them to the back of the cards. So that's on those two, and then here on the 3x4 I've run the strip across there, and I've actually tied those off at the back so there's no loose threads on the front. I'm not sure if this is going to focus properly, but what I like to do with these is do one strip that's straight as I can, because I'm not a sewer, not a stitcher, and then one that's deliberately wonky. So it might show up better on here. Look, so one is straight and then one is really wonky. So that's always my kind of plan with these, so that the wonk, I celebrate the wonk is what I'm trying to say. So the next thing is to adhere these down. I think I'm going to go with a flat word phrase sticker overlapping onto the mat, the white mat, on both ends, and then popping up the colourful word phrase strip, again matting, overlapping onto the white mat there, popping these up on pop dots. And I've also been through my stash and I found some puffy hearts from Ellis Studio which will work. They're not exactly what I would have liked, so I think that is one thing I'm going to add to my stash this year, are some puffy hearts, some in different colours. So these are stuck down now. I don't have a bin in my craft room. Here's a little random fact while I'm doing this. I don't have a bin in here because my craft room is actually in our kitchen. It's half of the kitchen, the bottom end. And so I have this gorgeous bowl that my husband wood turned for me, and this sits on my desk. I put my little scraps in there and then I just trot up to the top of the kitchen, tip it into the bin. This then, I'm going to take this over here. So again, overlapping things. Is that going to detract from the sun too much? Ooh, let me think. Where do I want this one to go? This one I want the whole of the pattern, as in the shape of the element. Yeah, so that's stuck down there. I lost my thread there because that's the downside of being in the kitchen, is that people walk in. Right, puffy hearts. So I have these old, I don't know what, these are 2020. Oh, it's probably why they don't stick anymore. So I think I'm going to go with the purple, the soft purple and the darker tone purple heart up here, because there is that light and dark, and it fits really nicely into the white heart. Then I would have liked a white heart here, but I haven't got any white hearts left. But what I do have are these ones. These are kind of really cute. They match that very nicely. But I've also got one of those more purple toned ones. Let's see if that stands out nicely. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. And then I'd like, see, and my mind likes visual triangles, so now I'm thinking, well, I have to have one more, but then I have 2 spaces, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to go with a 4. Are these the same shade of purple? I think they are. Just thinking I could bring in that size. I think they're too big. Too bright. I'm going to go with these instead. Just 2 of these. Bring one up here onto the top of the thread. Left side or right side? Left side. And then down here will be right side. There we go. So all I need to do is get my embellishments, is get my journaling done, and I think I am going to type that. So I will take this away, type it up, and then you will see the finished spread with the page protector and this little die cut, if I go with that, over on my Instagram, and you'll find that on under @Caroline's Creative Healing, so the same as this. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed seeing this come together. And this is this has been created as part of the Traci Reed Design Team YouTube Hop. So in the description box below, you'll find links to all of the creatives who are working with this collection at the moment and sharing videos here on YouTube for your inspiration. So make sure you have a look down there and hop through all of the videos so that you don't miss out on anything lovely. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.